All right.
What's popping? What's dropping? I would say this your boy Jimmy J Smooth, born and raised in 901 and representing 832. Y'all know how you do. Actually, this is Craig L. Smith II. And I'm bringing in, and I did say on his last show that never say never in regards with Jimmy McBride's final podcast, but he has returned. He has made is making a um rare appearance on this show. Without further ado, let me bring the man that hour in too sweet to be sour. His words are so cold and yet they be so bold.
Oh shit. Oh shit, man. Much respect on that, man. We live and direct in full effect, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a pretty good show. You know what I'm saying? We got a pretty decent amount of topics we're gonna talk about. First things first, my boy Brian Dennehy. I wanted to start the show off with that. Rest in peace to the brother Brian Dennehy, man.
Yeah.
You know, that shocked everybody. You know, yeah, he was 81 years old, but that kind of shocked everybody that he just passed away. Yeah, he was up in age. You know, when you get that old age, you're after 70, you can just drop dead. And, you know, it might not, you know, nothing might not be wrong with you. You know, hell, you know, you old as hell. But nevertheless, nobody expected that at all, man. And hell of an actor. You know, came out. Say what? Go ahead.
He was. And then let's not forget, you know, sometimes he played a villain. Most time he can play a villain. Hey, he can play a damn good guy because the first when he was in FX, said Brian Dennehy made it so good, it was worthy of the sequel. And the sequel was better than the original.
I agree. You know, yeah, I think the sequel was better. And the guy started out in the Marine Corps. He ended up going to Columbia before ended up taking theater up at SUNY, one of the best acting schools up in New York. You know, when a lot of people go to those schools, you know what I'm saying, like Juilliard and those other schools, you know, SUNY. I always get that damn school mixed up because it's so crazy. But, you know, with that school, you know, they have a very good acting program. One of the best probably in the country. You know, I don't think anybody's better than Juilliard, but, you know, as far as acting, they compete with everybody else outside of Juilliard. And, you know, him going to that school, that made a difference. Now, he started off taking small roles and, you know, $100 roles, $80 roles. You know, because when you're starting out, you know, you got to take those, you know, mom and pop roles. And then, you know, as time grew on, when he was playing in movies like Foul Play and movies like Death of the Salesman and all that, then ultimately that's when his name started getting recognition. You know, movies like Semi-Tough with Burt Reynolds and stuff like that. There's a lot of movies he played in that a lot of people just don't know. You know, he made, you know, small appearances in movies like, you know, television shows like Kojak, Lou Grant, Dallas, Dynasty, Hunter, Miami Vice. You know, he's played in a lot of movies and TV shows that people, you know, you have to really go in the film room or your TV tape, and you have to really look for it. You know, he was in the movie Looking for Mr. Goodbar. You know what I'm saying? You know, very significant role. The movie Fist, the movie 10. He was in a lot of classic movies that people don't realize he's in this movie. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, he established himself as a great actor in his own right. Especially like when we talk about FX. That's really the first movie I recognized him in. Like the first Rambo movie, I had to, you know, I remember the second and third Rambo movie. You know what I'm saying? Of course, because I was born in '84. I didn't really watch First Blood until well after the Rambo series was well established and stuff like that. So, but ultimately, I went back and I was like, damn, he was in this movie. He was the bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the state trooper.
Yeah, so that's how significant of an actor he is. When you got guys that you can put in movies to where you have to go back and rewind the tape and like, damn, that's Brian Dennehy and shit like that. So, nevertheless, man, rest in peace to his 5 children. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to him. My condolences go out to his 5 children, and my condolences go out to his wife Jennifer Dennehy. You know what I'm saying? So much respect to her and the 5 children, particularly Elizabeth Dennehy, because she got into acting in her own right. I think she's in the acting / television producing as well. So she following her father's footsteps as well. And, definitely rest in peace to Elizabeth and her siblings and Miss Jennifer Dennehy as well. You got anything else you want to say, man?
No, man. No, because and also, man, you in First Blood. I think the movie. I think Michael Mann from I think one of the best movies ever to come out in '95 paid homage to that coffee shop scene with Brian Dennehy and Richard Crenna. He paid homage. He paid homage to them because everybody would say that Al Pacino and De Niro would never be on the same screen together, and he got them on there for that one scene. That coffee shop scene when and that's my while everybody's hearing this COVID shutdown in some states, which we're gonna talk about in a minute. I recommend everybody check that movie out. Heat. It don't have none with Brian Dennehy in it, but matter of fact, yeah, check out First Blood because Richard Crenna was a hell of an actor too. So check out First Blood with that scene. I think Brian Dennehy was like, because he was 81, his First Blood came out in 82, so that was like 38 years ago. Brian Dennehy, that was at 40, because I think he did the interview. He said he was 42, going on 43 when he did that movie. And when you take a look at Heat, damn, I mean, you can't get no wrong with that because, I mean, Michael Mann did a nice homage to him on that. But yeah, but those are my 2 movie picks to check out. The First Blood with Brian Dennehy, and shit, and also if FX and FX2, because he did play. He was the good guy. He was the good guy in some of them films, in most of his films.
Yeah,
he was most memorable in that movie about the it was a true life thing. It was something about the corporation. I forgot. Exxon Valdez or something like that. I believe that's what it was. I'm not sure.
Okay.
That if you can find that movie talking about that, then that's worth checking out. But also, like I said, also check out Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. If you want something to watch. Because it's got my favorite actress in that movie. Ashley Judd.
Yeah, for sure.
Woo! She still look good today. But again, rest in peace to Brian Dennehy. Condolences to his 5 children, his widow. I ain't gonna call her that. I'm gonna still call her his wife and his wife Jennifer. So rest in peace to a very solid yet underrated actor.
Very solid actor in his own right, and definitely respect. Because they don't make too many actors like him anymore. Because a lot of these actors these days, they want to make them unmasculine and all that other shit. And like I said, he was the man's man in his generation. Never back down from the tough guy image, or you know what I'm saying, the man's image. So much respect to Brian Dennehy in that department. Now we want to get on Jalen Green. Jalen getting that green, baby. It's been reported that he will go to the D League, the D League, the NBA D League. He will. From my understanding, Penny Hardaway was about to get a commitment out of him.
Mm-hmm.
What I understand, and I'm using from what I understand from what my sources are, because Auburn fans was going at Memphis fans heavy. They was like, man, they were talking bad about Penny, talking about how he can't coach and all this other shit. That the jury's still out on that. He's had 20 win seasons 2 consecutive years. So the jury is still out on that. With the COVID-19, they stopped the NCAA tournament, so the jury is still out on that. But nevertheless, he was about to, from what we know, from what our sources know, and from what the Auburn fans was pissed off about, they were about to get a commitment out of Jalen Green, and then Jalen Green made the decision to go to the D League. What's your take on that, brother?
2 words. Smart move.
I co-sign that.
Smart move. I mean, kid gotta get his paper because maybe he saw the writing on the wall with this shit with the James Wiseman situation.
Mm-hmm.
And Auburn fans, listen here. Y'all are the most respected fan base there is in football and basketball. Y'all have one of the most respectable coaches that Jimmy J and myself like in Bruce Pearl. And I'm not much for Memphis fan.
Mm-hmm.
But stay y'all motherfucking money.
Exactly.
Stay in your own lane, or as the West Memphis, Arkansas mayor told his citizens during this stay-at-home law act, stay your ass at home. So stay your ass in your lane. Now, and I read somewhere it's somebody else is getting ready, another recruit that's getting ready to consider the G League as well. But I mean, Jalen, he's getting ready to. I mean, and another piece of advice to a young man is this: have something to fall back on, because basketball isn't just your life. Have something to fall back on. That's what I would tell everybody if they get ready to go into college or whatever, or they get ready to do this, do that. Man, have something to fall back on. Can constantly have something to fall back on if your first, second, third, four options fail. But I think it's a smart move on his part. Because I did read, and I read on someone's Facebook status that Auburn was going heavy for this dude, and then there was another recruit that Auburn was going heavy for in Memphis. I don't know his name, but Auburn and Bruce Pearl were going heavy for Jalen Green, and with him deciding to go to the D League, G League. I mean, it's still the same DGF, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The smart move on his part. I mean, because he figured he got tunnel vision. He seen, like I said, he probably saw the writing on the wall with the Wiseman situation and everything, and he don't want history to repeat itself twice. But for Auburn fans to criticize Penny's coaching, the jury is still out on him. Okay. The jury is still out on him. But also, Auburn, much as we love Bruce Pearl, y'all kind of been complaining about some shit that he would do too. So who's zooming who?
Exactly. And this is not a knock on Bruce Pearl, because Bruce Pearl's version of the dribble drive offense, to me, he runs it better than John Calipari.
He modifies it every year.
And not only that, his 3-point shooting is better than, everywhere he's went, the 3-point shooting of his teams were better than they were every year in and year out. At Green Bay, University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, he took them to the furthest they've ever been in the history of that program, because he was going up against Marquette, which is a bigger school than University of Green Bay, Milwaukee, and he happened to get them to the Sweet 16 when Marquette couldn't even get out the second round. Then he went to Tennessee and took Tennessee to their Elite Eight. Should have been in the Final Four if you include some of the bullshit calls that Michigan State And in some
Oh
cases,
God.
Michigan State got away with in that game. They should have called a lot of the officiating was terrible in that Michigan State Tennessee game. They should have got to the Final Four. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how far they would have went in the Final Four, but they would have gotten there at least. You know what I'm saying?
Whoever Michigan State was playing in that Final Four game, Tennessee probably gave hell. But
yeah,
also in Bruce Pearl's final year, I didn't like the fact that his players just basically the players when they got his players basically gave up. They was in it with Michigan for a while, then they just said fuck. It was like they just threw the game.
yeah.
You know, when it came out that Pearl had to recruit at his house for a barbecue or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then the players just basically just gave up. He said I felt my players that I recruit just gave up on me. You know, and you could tell they did. They said, "Man, fuck this."
Yeah,
you know?
and not only that, he recruited throughout the state of Tennessee. He kept a lot of top level talent in the state, and then he recruited in Atlanta, which is the same thing he's doing at Auburn. Most of Auburn's basketball team is from Atlanta, and he's done a great job. You can't unless you get the top of the line Atlanta players, it's going to be hard to go up against Bruce Pearl because Auburn is so close to Atlanta. And then they're snatching players from Georgia Tech. They're snatching from you got like 5 D1 schools around the Atlanta area. You know what I'm saying? Or within 30 miles of the Atlanta area. You know what I'm saying? So, it's crazy, man. So, nevertheless, man, shout out to my boy Jalen Green. I'm very proud of you. What you need to do is invest in some real estate. Buy your hood. I know he's mixed. His mom is part Filipino, and his stepfather, which is
black.
where he gets. Yeah, he's black. He's black, but his biological father is 100% black. His mom is mixed, I think. His mom is mixed Filipino, which if you want to be technical, a lot of Filipinos are mixed. You know what I'm saying? Look at Manny Pacquiao's daddy, for instance. But nevertheless, invest in some real estate, buy your hood back. You know what I'm saying? In case the NBA don't work out, because $500,000 can go a long way. You know what I'm saying? Make sure and
hold up.
Go ahead.
Jalen Green, apply since Green is your last name, make it work. And also, Jalen, $500,000. $500,000 can stretch a long way. You can turn $500,000 to $500 million if you listen to the right people. Do not give any of your family members no motherfucking money. The lone exception to the rule is the two who raised you. That's moms and pops. Any other family members that haven't been there for y'all in yesteryear, tell them no.
And he legally changed his last name to Green because his stepfather played with Deshaun Stevenson in high school. And you know what I'm saying? I think his stepfather been there since he was 5. And since his stepfather raised him and taught him how to play basketball, because I think from my understanding of his stepfather had him working with Deshaun Stevenson and other NBA players, which is why he's dominant. He's killing it in high school. He's playing pickup games against NBA players. And he like, hey, I'm finna change, I'm finna carry my stepfather's name, damn all this. I'm finna carry my stepfather's name. So, that goes to show you, your daddy doesn't always have to be blood. Your daddy sometimes could be somebody who's mentoring you or somebody who just come in your life and play the stepdaddy role. So that's not a bad thing in that situation. He came at the right time. He raised him at the right time. You know what I'm saying? He came
right
at the right time as a stepfather, so he could raise him as his own and then, influence him. Hey, I know how to play basketball. I know some NBA players. I went to school with some NBA players. So I'm going to show you, since you like basketball so much, I'm going to get you around people that been there so you can be ready for the league. And that's what he did, and he took his stepfather's last name. You know what I'm saying? And, much respect to the stepfather as well. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have easily been there, another nigga just smashing his mom, and that, we wouldn't be hearing about him. But he took him under his wing and showed him, how to, do the basics, how to, shoot a jumper, with your, with the basics of shooting a jumper, how to, do the crossover correctly. He really worked with that kid. You know what I'm saying? If you do your research on Jalen Green and his stepfather really molded him into the player he is now and put him in the position that he is now. And hopefully a lot of high school recruits that are top level, and I say top level for a good reason, because not everybody ain't no fucking Jalen Green. Let's please understand that. Some of you motherfuckers need to go to college all 4 fucking years to get some of that game. This is no disrespect to anybody's son or parent, but all you motherfuckers ain't no Jalen Green. Hell, no. if you want to argue, hell, James Wiseman probably should have went to the D League if you just want to be technical about it. If this shit was gonna go on with this, he probably should have just went to the D League his goddamn self. And which he gonna have to go to the summer league anyway, but he probably should have went his damn self, because James Wiseman, I can tell you the truth. James Wiseman was the truth. I've saw James Wiseman since he was a freshman. You know what I'm saying? Going all the way at Nashville Edgeworth. He was the truth then. You know what I'm saying? Him being in Memphis, you know what I'm saying, and working with Penny those years as a AAU prospect, that helped him out tremendously. And then when he grew to 7'1", that raised his stock up. He probably should have went to the D League. You know what I'm saying? I know he wanted to play for Penny and all that other good stuff, but with him going through the shit he went through, he could have easily went to the D League, and he would have killed it at the D League, because the kid got a jumper, the kid got defense, the kid got it all. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jalen Green, and much respect to the prospects. You got anything else you want to say about this?
No, only thing I was saying though, Green, and if Jalen Green, you finna make 500 G's, turn 500 G's and 500 mil, and just give back to the 2 people that brought you to the dance. Any other do not give all your, do not end up being part of another ESPN 30 for 30 broke part 2. Because family break your ass down about money for anything. Take it from me, I fucking know. So much props to him. Hey, wish him the best and everything. And he saw the writing on the wall as far as like everything else goes. So he got every right to take his talents to the G League.
Yeah, and like I say, everybody can't be a Jalen Green. And from my understanding, he's the only child. And I think he has like a stepbrother from his stepfather, some shit like that. So technically he got other siblings, you know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, not everybody has a Kawhi Leonard type family where big brother, Uncle Dennis, who's his agent, and his big brother who manages his finances, and you know what I'm saying? Not everybody has a Kawhi Leonard type family. Not everybody has that type of family system, because big brother came in and like, hey, you want a house? Okay, we got you. You want a car? We got you. Don't come back for no more shit. And then Uncle Dennis slid in there and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Said the same shit. You know what I'm saying? And his mom and stepdad, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you want to live with stepmom and stepdad? Okay, we're gonna give them a decent house up in San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? If anytime you want to leave, we go. They made sure Kawhi did not fuck off his money. The big brother, Uncle Dennis, and all those guys, they made sure that folks wasn't gonna come in and fuck him off. They established that. So not too many people have that type of family or organization. Even uncles. With uncles, man, Uncle Dennis could have easily been like, man, Kawhi, give me an extra. No, Uncle Dennis is just as frugal as fucking Kawhi. Shit, Kawhi, that's that house up in Oceanside, which is like an hour and a half from LA. That's the biggest purchase he done made. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, they had to make Kawhi. They had to force Kawhi go get him a decent car. That nigga was riding a hoopty, man. You know what type of car that boy was riding. Say what now?
A Suburban?
Yeah, he was riding one of them motherfuckers and raggedy as hell, going to the practice, and everybody was laughing at that motherfucker. Everybody would at the practice like, man, how come you got all this hundreds of millions of dollars and you ride? They were clowning that boy. And, that's just how the family was structured, man. Everybody, his family members had better looking cars than Kawhi Leonard. Had a way better looking car than Kawhi, man. But when he finally got it, he could afford it. You know what I'm saying? So right. I won't agree to take that same advice. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man.
Most definitely. I forgot to mention at the top of the show, Jimmy. The Jimmy J Smooth Network, along with Craig Smith's Let's Draw Something, has been brought to you in part by Trey Styles Custom and Designs. There's nothing he can't customize, but he has a new saying now. All his customers are saying, just like his women, he keep them happy. They wake up one morning with money. They subject to go crazy. Hit them up for all your NBA, NFL, NHL, MLS, MLB, FC soccer, family special occasions, and everything else. All you need. He has glasses, hats, aprons, shoes. Name it, he got it. That's Trey Styles Custom Designs. There's nothing cannot customize. Hit him up at 901-364-3698. That's 901-364-3698. And you can also hit him up on Facebook at Trey D. Murphy. And you can also inbox him. And when you inbox him, make sure you state your name and everything else, because Murph has a habit of being cautious of who he replies to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but now, Shaq. This past week, Shaq made one of the most asinine comments ever. And even though he's older, and I'm gonna be honest, Shaq was a dominant center, the only dude to win the NFL, the All-Star, regular season, and Finals MVP in one season. Made one of the most asinine comments by saying that the three-peat Lakers would have beaten Michael Jordan's Bulls, singular quotes, easy, if both teams were in their primes. And when asked by Ariel Helwani what makes Shaq so confident in this outcome, he said he would have killed Luke Longley, Bill Wennington, and Bill Cartwright. Yeah. Okay, the Bulls were hardly known for their size. Two-time Defensive Player of the Year Dennis Rodman might have made a difference, but O'Neal eviscerated a four-time winner of that award in Dikembe Mutombo when the Lakers defeated the 76ers in the 2001 NBA Finals. If one thing were to slow the Lakers down in O'Neal's mind, it would be his free throw shooting. Also, his lack of developing more, getting out of his ways. With Phil Jackson coaching the Bulls, Shaq is almost certain that they would have gone to the now largely defunct Hack and Shaq strategy of sending him to the line every possession. Shaq shot 52.7% from the free throw line during his career. A long enough stretch of misses could swing a game, which could swing a series. So, Jimmy, in your opinion, what do you make of this?
Shaq has a right to his opinion. I just don't fucking agree with that shit. Period. He wouldn't have beat the first three-peat of the Bulls. And some could argue between either one. The first three-peat Bulls had better offense.
True.
And you can argue the three-peat Bulls, the second one, had better defense. Three-point shooting, you could go either way. I slightly think with Craig Hodges before he was blackballed out of the NBA, with B.J. Armstrong and John Paxton and those guys, I think three-point shooting would have, the ability for the other guys to get open when Jordan got double teamed, that would have caused a lot of problems for the LA Lakers. That would have just been too much to deal with. And then Horace Grant's ability to score inside with the trash points that he was a trash scorer. So that would have gave Shaq problems, because Shaq is going to think twice about, Shaq is going to have to at least box him out to where he couldn't get those trash points. And, The first three-peat Bulls, I don't think they even beat them either. The second three-peat Bulls, defensively, they're going to clamp down on them because Dennis Rodman's going to frustrate Shaq, piss him off, and get Shaq to where, he going to get mad. And here's the thing about Dennis Rodman, what a lot of people don't know. Dennis Rodman, got away with a lot of push-offs against Shaq. Now, granted, Shaq I'm gonna interject. Let me interject to this. Shaq got away with a lot of elbows too, a lot of elbows and push-offs as well. So it was a physical matchup. People didn't realize if you watch those tapes closely, Dennis Rodman versus Shaq in Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Bulls, particularly the Chicago Bulls series versus the Orlando Magics.
Goddamn, that's sweet. That's sweet.
That's
they
sweet.
Beat and Shaq, and mind you, Shaq talking a whole lot of shit about that they were going to beat the Bulls the same way that they beat them the year before. Okay, the year before they weren't that fucking good, and Jordan was getting it. Yeah, that's because they had Horace Grant's punk whole ass. So then when they played him again, Horace Grant didn't fucking show up.
Mm-hmm. Horace Grant didn't show up. Neither did Nick Van Exel. I mean, not Nick Anderson and Dennis Scott. Because in the first time they played him, everybody showed up, but the second time, only Penny and Shaq
got beat.
Yeah,
and the scores weren't even close.
Yeah, they put Penny and Shaq in a position to where they had to basically take control of the game, and that was not going to work. They needed all five scorers to be consistent, and they could not do that, and that's what it was. But with Dennis Rodman would push the shit out of him, and it would be noticeable push and shit like that. But granted, Shaq did a lot of pushing off and elbows as well, but he couldn't elbow Dennis Rodman because what Dennis Rodman would do is soon as Shaq throw that elbow, Dennis Rodman will push the elbow the opposite way. You know what I'm saying?
Shaq would try Dennis, and they would tell that man, "Don't, Dennis will fuck you up." Shaq would try him on purpose, just do it out of spite. Mm-hmm. So, but the only thing I could say, 95-96 Bulls, they posted a 72-10 record that was broken by the Warriors, who fucking fucked up again in 2016. I don't even want to go in about them. Now, the 90-91 Bulls posted a playoff best 15-2 in the playoffs. They posted a 15-2-1 record. No, 15-2 record. The 2000-2001 Lakers went 15-1. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm be honest, if they hadn't gave Philadelphia that game, which is a bad Philadelphia team to begin with, a very bad Philadelphia team, and I talked about it in a sports chat group with you, and shout out to Corey Wolf. They were bad on all levels, especially Dikembe was past his prime because he acted like he couldn't hold Shaq. I mean, but we all knew who's the only, along with Rodman, the only dude that basically tore Shaq up, matched him physically, but also had a better all around game similar to King was my boy Zoe. Mm-hmm. And Rodman respected the hell out of Zoe.
And not only that, Zoe was not only strong, but he had underrated leaping ability because when you're 6'10", 6'11", a lot of people didn't know. Zoe's leaping ability was off the chain as well because his leaping ability came into play versus the Dallas Mavericks because he led the league in block shots. He had averaged 4 blocks a game in the NBA. He was coming off the bench and leading the league in block shots that year when the Miami Heat won that championship. Of course, that kidney surgery tore him up from the flow up, but he was still an effective defensive player, and an effective shot blocker as well. When Shaq needed some rest with D Wade and Shaq, outside of my opinion of D Wade, he did ball. You know what I'm saying? If you take away the little bullshit he did in his personal life, he did ball in that series. But Zoe,
talking about Wade, right?
We're talking about Wade. Yeah, we're talking about Wade. but I'm speaking from a basketball position. I'm not speaking from a personal position. But with Zoe coming off the bench and relieving Shaq at center, that he needed somebody to relieve him because Zoe was sending everything up out of there. When you could not score inside. The Mavericks had to rely on perimeter shooting because Zoe defensively, he was shutting down shop defensively. They couldn't do nothing inside. And Dirk had to stay on the mid-range, which when Dirk does not have the ability to do that spin move like he did, you know what I'm saying? That really hurted him. Like,
but also let me add this.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe was a damn good mid. Zoe not only was a good interior defender, he was a good mid-range defender.
Mm-hmm.
So if he defended him for somebody in the mid-range game, you fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because the lockout season, we're gonna get back on Shaq's thing in a minute. The lockout season, I said, Zoe led the league in scoring, rebounding, block shots, and he became the first center to lead the league in assist to turnover ratio. Those are MVP like numbers, but they gave it to Karl Malone. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, and you talk about Zoe everybody says Zoe got screwed on that, man. Because that was, 99, it was a short year, but 99 was Zoe's year. 98, 99 season was Lonzo's year, man. Man, I'm like, this man, he could have had at least, and I felt if I had to look it up, I know he was all defensive teams. I felt he could have been defensive player of the year several times too. But Zoe did play on some good star quality Miami Heat teams, coached by an all-time great himself, Pat Riley, and Pat Riley pulled a John Thompson on Zoe. Where put it like this. At Georgetown, you never saw Zoe take a lot of he had a mid-range game. But a lot of people didn't know Zoe had a nice three-point.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He had a nice three-pointer, man.
Yeah. And here's another thing that a lot of people don't know. When Dikembe Mutombo was coming in the United States, he was teaching Dikembe how to speak English. A lot of people didn't know. Mm-hmm. Him and John Thompson. Yeah. Thompson. He was one of the two people was teaching Dikembe Mutombo how to speak English because please note, when Dikembe got over from the United States on that immigrant status to go to college, because when you come over from places like Africa and those third world countries, your college tuition is basically free.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then he was already an athlete coming in there, so he had incentives. But Dikembe could not speak English, and Alonzo and John Thompson, you know what I'm saying, together helped him how to speak English. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was helping him speak English. And, you look at Dikembe Mutombo now, his English is better than mine. Shit. Of course he lives out in Houston too. So, if you go to whatchamacallit's church, you'll see him. You'll see him every Sunday. But that's what he taught him how to speak English. A lot of people don't know that. a lot of people don't know that,
And also think, never heard a bad thing about him.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did, he would own up to it. Okay, so because he chilling right now. But back with the Shaq thing, Shaq is entitled to his opinion, but he's also fucking delusional. Okay, well, no way in the hell. Like you said, the first three-peat and then the second three-peat. And by the way, the Last Dance 10-part documentary series will start tomorrow night. And I'm going to download my ESPN app on my phone and I'm going to watch it. So stay tuned for the special Let's Draw on Something to give you my review of parts 1 and part 2. Because Skip Bayless and was talking about with Jerry Krause, and even Shannon Sharp didn't know about it. And Shannon Sharp chimed in on. I'm seeing you link about that. Jerry Krause told Phil Jackson, he said, I don't care if this team went 82-0. You ain't coming back as coach of my team.
Yeah. That was probably
whoa.
Everybody in Chicago knew that. Everybody who was a Bulls fan, Michael Jordan fan, knew that. Everybody knew that. That was really not a shock, at all, because it was
because Dennis left. When Dennis found out he wasn't coming back, he's like, because he said he told Mike, if Phil ain't coming back, he said Phil ain't coming back. He said, I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't staying in. He said, I ain't finna stay up in this fucked up shit.
Yeah.
So Jerry Krause got the dude he wanted, which was Tim fucking Floyd. And he wanted the Bulls franchise to be sabotaged under his rule, but it took the owner a long while to fire this man. Who Jerry Krause is a freaking baseball scout. How a baseball dude gonna tell something about basketball?
And you want to know something about Jerry Krause that people really don't know about? He traded Sammy Sosa from the White Sox to the Cubs. Everybody on the South Side ran that motherfucker out the South Side.
Did not know that.
That's
interesting. That's an interesting tidbit I'm sharing on Twitter. I said, did you know late Bulls general manager Jerry Krause had when he was in his main profession, baseball, traded Sammy Sosa from the White Sox to the Cubs? Wow.
Known as one of the dumbest trades in history by everybody who's a White Sox fan. One of the dumbest trades in history. Because if I'm not mistaken, Ozzie Guillen was playing for the White Sox at that particular time. If I'm not mistaken, he played with Sammy Sosa, I think 1 year. I think he was at the White Sox 1 or 2 couple of years, and they traded him. And that's when Sammy Sosa broke out. When he went to the Cubs, that was the beginning. Steroids or not, goddammit. That motherfucker, that was a stupid ass move, goddammit. Fuck it. I'm gonna just be honest. Sammy Sosa got his personal issues, you know what I'm saying? Painting his face, you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna get on that, but nevertheless, that was stupid as hell. I ain't gonna lie on that. That was one of the stupidest moves in history. Yeah, man. So yeah, man. People shouldn't be shocked that Jerry Krause made those stupid ass moves. And with the owner, I want to say is Jerry Wainwright is his name?
Reinsdorf.
Okay, yeah, I get that man mixed up with some guys, but Jerry Reinsdorf gave the problem with Jerry Reinsdorf if he gave Jerry Krause absolute control as a GM. And prior to that, very few GMs had absolute control over a team, the team operation. Very few guys that I know of. Red Auerbach had that, but Red Auerbach delivered 16 fucking championships, so he has the right to have that type of power. You know what I'm saying? Because when Red Auerbach won all those championships, not only he was the head coach, he was the general manager, and then when he retired as a coach, he still ran it from the GM position. But you got to give Red Auerbach his props. Red Auerbach is the greatest general manager of all time. By accomplishment, he was the greatest general manager of all time, and he allowed black coaches he put black coaches in key positions. Casey Jones and Bill Russell. He made history making decisions as a general manager. So you can't dispute what he did as a general manager versus Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause did not have the right to make those stupid ass decisions.
The only good decision he did was he traded when he traded for Scottie Pippen.
Traded for Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant.
But then I didn't like the fact that he traded. A lot of Bulls fans like the fact that he traded Charles Oakley to New York for Bill Cartwright, and they said Jordan was pissed off about that.
Because
said Jordan was hot,
and Jordan demanded a trade, but Jordan demanded a trade as well, and they swept the Chicago. The people who ran the Chicago media swept that under the rug, but he demanded a trade. He was like when they traded Oakley, because the thing about Oakley was the only person that stopped the Detroit Pistons from doing the Jordan rules, because they was doing it somewhat in the 86 year, but Charles Oakley shut that shit down real quick. And that's the one dude Dennis Rodman did not fuck with, was Charles Oakley. Barkley didn't fuck with him, and Dennis Rodman would play dirty against anybody, but Charles Oakley, which I believe Charles Oakley should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm just gonna be honest with you. With his play during the New York Knicks years, and his ability to rebound, 10,000 rebounder, 10,000 point club, he should have been in the Hall of Fame, just like Patrick Ewing. I'm not saying he was a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's definitely in the third and fourth ballot discussion for sure. Because the Knicks would not have been they would not have been competing with the Bulls without Charles Oakley's physical play. But that's what made those dudes wait until 1988 to do the Jordan rules. You know what I'm saying? Because Charles Oakley wasn't having it. Him and Jordan to this day, I'm sounding like Deontay Wilder, but to this day are friends. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're in, because Jordan called out the owner of the New York Knicks about banning Charles Oakley from the Madison Square Garden. But that was because he's friends with Charles Oakley. Even when the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls had their beef on the court in 92 and 93, you know what I'm saying? Charles, they would still call each other at night, you know what I'm saying? Talk a little shit to each other, but they would still call each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's how deep their friendship was and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how important Charles Oakley was to the Chicago Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Because, they, had Oakley been on the Bulls at the time that they did that Jordan rules, he would have been shut that shit down. You know what I'm saying? Because Oakley protected Michael Jordan. People would try to do little fuck shit before the Detroit Pistons. Boston tried a version of the Jordan rules, and Oakley shut that shit down. A lot of people don't know. They tried that shit. Kevin McHale was a dirty player, but Oakley shut that shit down. People didn't fuck with Charles Oakley. And that alone should put him in the Hall of Fame, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But again, Shaq is entitled. Shaq is entitled to his opinion, man. But I don't agree with it. So, I mean, some of the stuff Shaq says being arrogance. That's all. That's everybody. Pice is known to be wishy-washy and arrogant, also to a fault. But it is. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, because both three-peats, the first offensive-minded three-peat would have easily beat them, and the defensive-minded second three-peat would have easily beat them. So it's a no-brainer.
Oh hell yeah! And I think Kobe, the late Kobe Jelly Bean Bryant, would have said that they would had problems with the Chicago Bulls. Again, he has an entitled to his opinion. He has entitled to his opinion. But push come to shove, nigga, Dennis Rodman you would have been in the palm of Dennis Rodman's hand, and you would have been in the palm of Bill Cartwright's hand, because Bill Cartwright had great defense, which is why those New York teams didn't get past the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Right. Both those guys was going to score the 24, 25 respectively, but you're not finna just score those points in key situations. You know what I'm saying? So right. Yeah, man, you're entitled to your opinion, Shaq, but nobody agrees with that, and nobody will ever agree with that. So it is what it is. Come to Shaq, man. So what's the other
man
topic?
This well, with this COVID situation, now first most, we normally don't talk about politics on here. We don't, but so this is rare. Trump was on yesterday, when he was asked about opening up the economy. So he has said it was not up to him is up to all the governors of the 50 states. Now, Florida has been acting a fool ever since this damn breakout. And I agree with Democratic Congressman Alcee Hastings when he said it best. Florida is just about as crazy as Texas when it comes to shit. Now, Texas, from what I've read, they've been open back up. You know, so I mean, look, and then West Memphis's mayor, he told the citizens of West Memphis, stay your ass at home. Now, the people here in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's at most all in South Haven, well, the governor of Mississippi said South Haven, it is going to be a minute for Mississippi to get back, to open everything back up, because they say more likely, way if things ain't progressing, if everything caught up by a time frame that he wanted to be, schools are going to start after Labor Day here. Okay, which in my opinion it should have been done all along. But this situation here, man, and then you got everybody got the stimulus and all this other little stuff, and here's something that you didn't know. I found out that the state of Tennessee is being sued by IRS. Forget this. If just say like if you do for a $1,200 stimulus check, right, Jimmy? Okay, and if you got a child by another woman and you paying child support, guess what? They're gonna juvenile courts, mainly the ones I believe they was talking about the juvenile court here in Memphis. They said that juvenile court will take your $1,200 as a form of child support payment and give it to the mom. So the IRS is going to sue. Is currently suing. Has put in a lawsuit with the state of Tennessee for implementing that damn law. And by right, they got every right to. Look, you state, we federal. You messing with federal funds.
Yeah.
And which I think is wrong on the state of Tennessee's part, because let's face it, some of these women out here, man, y'all ass don't need no $1,200 because y'all get $1,200. Y'all be getting $1,200 from these folks, from these guys that got a child or children by you, even without a damn economic stimulus. So, and then like people with people like with SSI and all this other stuff, like my mom she get a disability check every month and bug me every day, every 5 minutes, bro. Want me to check the IRS website about a damn stimulus. It'll come, but she kind of more worried about mine, which I ain't telling her. I got stuck at that.
Nigga, stop, nigga, stop. Go ahead and talk your shit though. Talk your shit.
Yeah, but I just said I got mine, but I got it. I'm concentrating on getting the whip. But yeah, man. I mean, you got a whole lot. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, man. The basis of this whole economy, dude, been freaking shut down, and now they talking about paying us $2,000 every month.
You know what? I don't have no problem with them paying $2,000.
Me either.
I don't have no problem with that. Drop it off, ho. It'll keep me from working. Cause that'll keep shit. I ain't got to work for a whole year,
man.
Nigga. With 2,000, come on,
bro. If they and they're talking about and then 45 put in that little law about, hey, all the state governors must comply. If people had like house notes or apartments and stuff like that, all the leasing companies have to cease the rent payments. Man, I'm gonna call these realtors out here. I'm gonna call them out live on this podcast. Let me sip my water first. When I quit with the tea, let me sip my water.
Yeah.
Let me call out McCaskey, Rangel, and Greenberg.
Right.
They're Memphis based, and they got apartments there. They got apartments, I think, somewhere in most of Memphis and in Mississippi. Tell me why the fuck they not compliant to this shit. Everybody else is, but not them. You know, and I understand y'all, and I understand, you know, they're Jewish owned, but look, and y'all all about y'all money, but look, when the commander in chief tell you to fucking do something, you do it. You goddamn do it. You're not above beyond nobody. Folks still, you know, hell, folks still paying rent. Everybody else to stop except y'all. I mean, damn. Y'all ask all about the dollar and shit like that. But you need to do what the commander in chief told y'all to do. And that's messed up. And then plus, and to be honestly, McCaskey, Rangel, and Greenberg need to be fined.
Yeah.
They need to be fined. Mm-hmm. Oh, you not? Oh, you ain't? Oh, you don't? Oh, you don't want to comply with what I say? Okay, $1,000 fine.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! They need it. They need it.
Shit. That's what I'm saying. All you real estate realtors with these apartments and everything else, you don't want to comply. I'm not talking about just the ones here. Any others, if it's some in Texas and Florida or Illinois. Illinois, they're out. They are not in that. Illinois basically did what they told them they own before 45 told everybody what to do. And California and everybody else did, but especially like these maverick realtors, like these folks here, McCaskey, Rangel, and Greenberg, y'all ass need to be fined. Cause y'all want to go into business for yourself and still do what the hell y'all want to do. Look, you act like losing a month's worth of rental assets, depending on how much y'all get, gonna hurt y'all. Y'all gonna get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
Like I said, I ain't got nothing against Jews, man, but y'all ass need to stop being so fucking money hungry and cheap all the damn time. Well, they can't help but being cheap, just be fucking money hungry, all about y'all damn money. Y'all ain't good fellas. Hell, who y'all think y'all is? Henry Hill?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Because a lot of these apartment complexes be having mortgages on there. A lot of the mortgage owners be having mortgages and all that other shit on there. But let's say for worst case scenario, because Jewish people are very smart people.
True, I get that to them too. I mean,
yeah, and I'm gonna say that to say this. I'm pretty sure them motherfuckers, as many people they got going in and out of their tenant, out of their apartment complex, they're not paying on no fucking mortgage. So if they're not, they need to hold off the rent for a couple of months, man. They're gonna get it back anyway because they can apply for federal funding to where, you know what I'm saying, if they're considered a small business or even a big business, you know what I'm saying? Because my rental company out here in Houston is in this properties, so they got properties over Houston, so they're not worried for shit. But so I'm pretty sure they don't have a big mortgage on their apartment complex, and it's minimal payments to be made anyway. But you know, in certain states, I don't know how Mississippi works or certain other states work.
Fucking maverick behind. Don't want to give it the damn times on shit.
Yeah, because I know the state of Illinois, the governor's already, put it into law before Trump even thought about it and said, you know, hey, they got to hold off on rent, so they gotta hold that L for a minute anyway. You know what I'm saying? But you're talking about people that's paying $700,000 and $800,000 a month in rent. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother conversation compared to, you know, the South, which is, you know, generally, you know, X out Florida and certain parts of Atlanta, you know, the rent is relatively cheap in the South. You know what I'm saying? If you X out the state of Florida and parts of the the Atlanta, Georgia metropolitan area. So I say this to say that, man, cut that bullshit out, people. Just do what the guys say and y'all gonna get that back. Y'all already got funding in place
Thank
to
you.
where y'all gonna get that shit back. So cut that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Cut that shit out.
Shit. And then, and also, you know, I said it once before on your show, and say it again. I'm an essential employee. I got to go out and work. But look, if you ain't out here working, and the Memphis folks gonna fuck it up too, the ones that ain't got no job. Now, if you out looking for a job, okay. But if you ain't got no job and you out all kinds of night, man, and you know, because from what was said, Strickland was thinking about imposing martial law.
Mm-hmm.
That was the let me do this new term I heard, rumor and innuendo. Strickland was getting ready. Strickland was getting ready to enforce and was gonna call up the Tennessee National Guard to impose this fucking martial law for folks not staying their ass in the house.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I would have been all for it. So, and they wanted to stop me at the checkpoint. Where you headed? Work. That's it. So,
I
man,
don't think it should go that far.
but he was thinking about it, but it ain't. But you know, but it ain't gonna go that far. That's why I said it was rumor and innuendo.
Yeah, because I don't think, even if you impose that, it's gonna be certain badass dudes. You just making a bad problem worse in that situation. So I don't think it would have been wise to do that anyway. But like I say, if you're not an essential employee or trying to get your money out here, man, and you just a bum around this motherfucker, stay your ass in the house if if you ain't got to come out, man. Because I hardly go out anyway. Once I get my little 6,000 steps, once I get my walking in, shit, I'm in the house. Shit.
Yeah, none of those time now. I'll go to the store. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah. And out here in Texas, they're gonna open Texas back up in two phases. The first phase is gonna be they've opened it up yesterday somewhat, but next week the retail stores are gonna reopen. And the second phase, I forgot, they're gonna gradually open up, and they're gonna still impose social distancing. They're gonna impose some form of social distancing. So I'm saying with retail, I'm assuming they're gonna start back to open up the malls out here, and but they're gonna still impose some social distancing. They're probably gonna allow so many people to come in the mall, so it won't be, so many people out and stuff like that. So Texas was the last state in general, because Dallas was already shut down from the jump. But, Houston in particular, or Texas in general, they were the last state to shut down. And now we're going to be the first state to open up. I can agree to a certain degree with the opening. I disagree. To a certain degree. I know.
Yeah,
but
so you're neutral about that.
I mean, it's a double-edged sword, man. Because there's a lot of nasty ass people. I get people concerned about COVID-19, but on the flip side, people need some breathing room too to get out a little bit, but not too much. So it's I'm neutral about it. You know what I'm saying? Long as you don't bring your nasty ass around me with your nasty ass habits, we good.
That's it.
That's the way, because I've already been practicing social distancing anyway. I'm a socially distant person anyway. If it ain't about business or something that I can benefit from, or help a person that I respect benefit from something, I'm socially distanced any fucking way. So that's not even an issue. So I've always practiced social distancing. I've always practiced a 6-foot distance, unless I'm trying to holler at a female, and we gonna be like the fifth wheel plate, no distance, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh,
I got
you. If you catch my drift. But other than that, I'm neutral to it. But it certain industry needs to open up a little bit to a certain degree. So I'm neutral to it. I know my boy Corey. He's against it. But with Texas, the number of cases is dropping since since we shut down Texas. The number of cases are dropping.
Right.
At least according to the data. And there's been a lot of misinformation provided in terms of the number of people that's been getting it lately. And then some sources, especially the CDC and some doctors, will classify a person, and it's been documented. You can look this up. You can Google search this. Some people have been classified as having COVID-19, but have not had COVID-19. Some people die from different diseases, such as heart problem, heart failure, and stuff like that, and they'll say it's a COVID-19 death. So they've been skewed. They've been cooking the books a little bit on COVID-19. Especially, we've been hearing rumors around the nation talking about more Black people has gotten COVID-19. Well, if that's the case, number one, if we do have more COVID-19, how did it get there? Because Black people is funny acting anyway. In a general sense, we're funny acting to a certain degree.
Bro, we all kinds of acting.
Yeah, we're all kinds of acting, but
hey, I'm be honest with you. Now you say you're a social distant person too. I'm at times I'm figuring who I associate with, because some people don't like to associate with me.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, I'm finna knock some folks here.
Mm-hmm.
No knock against you, because it's like, if you ain't talking about business or whatever, stuff like that, I'll talk business, but some people, it was like what I had to tell one guy, and I think I said this about on your show before.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hang out with certain, I like to hang out with some of my friends also, but what me along with my friends like and what he likes is entirely two different things. To each his own on his end. I don't, I'm not, most guys and mainly, it be street dudes. They be like that too. You ain't talking nothing about like hood in the streets or find a way or kind of like in the ways, I'll be honest, God rest his soul, about my pops. I had to social distance myself. I sometimes had to social distance myself from him, because he told me one time if I wasn't talking about enough of merit, we didn't need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like business or whatever. If I want to talk about life, he want to talk about money and something like that. Look, man, I don't discuss money. That's one thing I never do. I don't discuss money with nobody, especially mine. But I try to, but like you said, Black people funny act. Black people are all kinds of act. They act fun. I'm gonna say this: we act funny. We act stupid. We act like we ain't got no. Most of us act like we ain't got no fucking home training. Most of us stuck in our ways.
No, that's true. That's definitely true.
Especially our parents. They so stuck in our ways, man. They so stuck in their doggone ways. It's a shame.
That's true. That's definitely true.
But you have some Black people that will get with the times. Like myself, I get with the times every year. Every day I get with the times. Jimmy McWright gets with the times. Shout out to Corey Wolf, he gets with the times. Shout out to Trey Murphy, he gets with the times. Shout out to my boy Mario Smith, he gets with the times. Shout out to my boy Agent Williams, he get with the times. But it's the others that be so damn stuck in their ways that they forget this is 2020. This isn't 1920. This isn't 1980. This isn't 1990 or 1991. This is 2020. And not a knock on any of our parents out there. Look, what y'all did back in the day, that's not going to fly today.
Hell no.
What everything that was done today is not going to fly today. It's not flying today. I'm not going to get into detail about that shit.
Yeah,
But Jimmy said it right. We black people as a whole, I said black people are all kinds of actors,
yeah.
and we ruin shit for everybody. But I heard one saying best. There's a difference between black folks and niggas. Niggas ruin most shit for everybody.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. That's the best analogy that I would put it in.
Niggas ruin most stuff for lottie dottie everybody.
Yep. That's
And I'm just put it like this: a nigga will ruin you having a pleasant shit in the bathroom.
that's that's a good way of putting it.
So, but
But
man, go ahead.
yeah, what I was saying too though, a lot of the numbers with the COVID-19 thing is not as many black people getting this is they're skewing it out to be because some of those numbers, funeral directors and certain privately owned medical practitioners are are having to say that is a COVID-19 so they can get money involved. Because if you say you got COVID-19, a whole bunch of COVID-19 patients, they give you an extra $40,000-$30,000 to do that. And a lot of people, because you see it all over the internet. We getting COVID-19 because we ain't taking care of ourselves. And if you look at the symptoms of COVID-19, we're only on 3 of those symptoms.
That's it.
Which is heart problems, obesity. Everybody's obese across the line. The only people that's not really obese is Asian people, and it's a whole nother conversation for their asses. But obesity, when you account for Hispanic people that classify as white, which most Hispanic people in this country classify themselves are. Look this up. This ain't me talking shit. That's just what it is. Non-Hispanic white and black people, obesity is relatively equal across the board. They try to put it all on black people. 80% of us is obese. That's not necessarily true because a bitch with a big old ass could be considered obese. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't got to be a BBW as people try to proclaim what a BBW is either. But we only is listed on 3 of those symptoms. So the COVID-19 is not as bad as people make it out to be in terms of in our community. Everybody else's community that could be give or take, but we're not getting it like people make it out to be. A lot of these numbers a lot of these black people are dying. They can't seek medical treatment, so they have to stay in the house. The fact that you got to stay in the house, there's a good thing and a bad thing. That's the reason why I say what I say about this is because it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. No, the bad thing is you got to come in account with nasty ass people. The good thing is, okay, at least we can get back to the hospital as needed, and then we can seek the necessary help in terms of us. Let's say we got respiratory conditions or something like that. Okay, we can go to the hospital for the respiratory position because a lot of these hospitals is overcapacitated right now because of this COVID-19 thing going on. And they have to, make rest areas. They have to make certain schools as rest areas for COVID-19 patients and stuff like that. So that's where the good part comes in it. So I'm not going to say too much about the bad and the good and the negatives about it because it's good and you can look at it on both sides of the fence. But nevertheless, some of the numbers are skewed. So, unless you know for a fact that this person has COVID-19, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't speak on it. I wouldn't even make a comment about us, not being healthy. We're relatively healthy people outside of heart problems and, what I'm saying, obesity, but which again, that's across the board. Everybody's obese if you want to be there.
You got some folks that's obese and morbidly obese.
Morbidly, thank you. Morbidly, yeah. So, or Norbit. But nevertheless, man,
that's what I said. You got some folks that can be obese and morbidly obese.
Yeah.
Morbidly obese means you just don't give a damn about yourself.
nigga, you one step from getting the fire department to come break your ass out the house just to come. You one step from the fire department coming to get you just to get you out the goddamn house. That's morbid.
My 600 be like my 600-pound life.
My 600-pound life, and that's and a lot of those guys be having bad childhoods and stuff like that. For you to get 600 pounds, dude, I walk every day. So, when I get through doing what I'm doing during the course of the day, I walk. I exercise. If I see a pulse in my stomach, dude, I'm finna push-ups, sit-ups, crunches. We finna get this pudge up off here. So, but nevertheless, guys, just stay healthy and do what you need to do. And like I say, if you ain't got to be out there, don't go out there. If it ain't exercising or going to the store and getting your essential items, stay your ass in the house. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Do y'all thing. What's the next topic, brother, man?
Well, I think it's time. Well, I'm borrow this before we go on to the main nitty gritty topic. Borrow this question I posted up on Facebook. Okay, Jimmy, you got 3 legendary football coaches. Okay, one of them just had a birthday today, and that's why he is what he is. So happy belated birthday, Bill Belichick. He's 68. You got 3 coaches. You ready? Bill Walsh. The birthday boy himself, Bill Belichick. He had a birthday from Thursday, and Chuck Noll. Who would you want? Who are you picking as far as who you want to coach? Who you want to coach? Who you want as your coach?
I would go with Bill Walsh personally.
No doubt,
because Bill Walsh, his ability to assess and reassess the game was truly innovative. Which with Bill Belichick, you could argue he get a lot of his game from Bill Parcells. You know what I'm saying? Which is nothing wrong with that either. If you wanted to say Bill Parcells was that dude or Chuck Noll was that dude, I don't think I would argue with it either way. But I think with Bill Walsh, a lot of your NFL coaches come from that Bill Walsh tree. You know what I'm saying? And then the Parcells tree is probably the second most successful tree. Which Bill Belichick is a part of that tree. One could argue Chuck Noll as well up in that with Tony Dungy and those guys and stuff like that. But Bill Cowher, yeah. So with guys with the Bill Walsh tree, people like Andy Reid, people like fucking
John Gruden. Wait, let me see. Bill, I go Bill Walsh too, but off the top of my head, I can tell you most of the Bill Walsh tree. Mike, as much as we hate him for how he handled RG3, Mike Shanahan, Andy Reid, John Gruden, Steve Mariucci, and I did him an insult, but I did him insult. Sorry, Mike, not mentioning him first. Mike Holmgren, George Seifert. I mean, just to name a few. Okay, then on the Parcells tree, you got Parcells, Belichick. Well, Saban falls under the umbrella of the Belichick tree. So under the Parcells tree, you got Parcells himself, Belichick, Romeo Crennel, Charlie Weiss, Ray Perkins, Al Groh, Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
Man, fuck Tom Coughlin. His slick president's ass.
Yeah. I give him credit for his accomplishment, but yeah, I'm the same way here.
Yeah. So them just to name a few. But anything, it's really I'm gonna be honest with you here. I'm going with Bill Walsh, and I'm going with Bill Walsh too. But I think the one thing that Belichick got on Bill Walsh, the game plan. Because Belichick scouts motherfuckers way ahead of time so he can get the jump. Like, look how he did the Rams in that boring ass Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He exposed Sean McVay, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Bill Walsh, on the other hand, every time when they play Bill Parcells with the Giants or whatever like that, who always end up getting beat?
In most cases, it's definitely the 49ers would always get beat by the Parcells all the time. Damn near.
Yeah.
You only had a handful of times where the Niners got the best of Parcells. It was only one time that I could think of where the Niners blew out the Giants. The couple of times that they did I remember them beating was that Jerry Rice 80-yard touchdown pass in the Giants stadium, and then it was a Monday Night Football game to where they had a little riot going on. That memorable Monday night fiasco. But other than that, I don't recall them ever beating them on a perpetual level, because the Giants used to just shellac the fucking 49ers 49-3, 17-3, and these are playoff games. So,
and let's not forget, not the Niners could have, had it not been for a Roger Craig fumble, and then with Bill Parcells putting in Gary Reasons to run a fake punt that put them within field goal range. The damn the punting team couldn't even tackle this man. And putting the Giants in their field goal range, and they won the game. So you had to factor in two games, because two things on the Niners end. One, they knocked Joe Montana out. Matter of fact, three things. One, they knocked Joe Montana out.
Yeah.
Two, the Roger Craig fumble.
Right.
And three, they matched the 49ers nickel scheme with their own nickel. Because Al Gross said on the Bill for Bill special, they didn't run no particular special brand of defensive front, no 4-3 or nothing. He said some told Bill Belichick we gonna run straight nickel on them to counter theirs.
Yep.
You know.
And you know what's crazy though? Even with that nickel scheme that Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator, and Bill Parcells ran, even with that scheme, the 49ers still lit their ass up for a couple of long touchdowns in that game. Because had they not made those 5 field goals to go to the Super Bowl, they would have lost. Had they not made those five field goals. Because they won the game kicking 5 field goals. They didn't win the game scoring no touchdowns. Every time the 49ers scored, they scored a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And them knocking Joe Montana out the game was perfect. That was perfect timing. That was perfect timing to knock him out of the game, which helped them go to the Super Bowl. Because, I think the Niners would have won 3 straight Super Bowls had they not knocked out Joe Montana. But I digress with that.
Right. Yeah. And so that's why I said, I got to go Bill Walsh too. But, Chuck don't know too much about him. I know about the little beef Terry Bradshaw had with him, but, can't respect him, but they said Chuck, he game plan to a fault too.
He had great game plans. But I look at it like this: with the defense Chuck Noll had, regardless of who you put back there at quarterback, whether it was Joe Gilliam, which could be whether you had Joe Gilliam or Terry Bradshaw, I think they would have won the Super Bowl regardless of whoever quarterback they put back there. Because in all honesty, Terry Bradshaw was an average quarterback.
Yeah.
A lot of people now, if you ask the average, Pittsburgh Steelers fan, who just look at the historical perspective of those 4 championships, they're not going to understand me. But Terry Bradshaw had the same amount of interceptions as he did touchdowns.
Yeah.
In the regular season. It's just Terry Bradshaw showed up in those Super Bowls. That's what really that's what put him in the Hall of Fame more than anything. Is that he showed
Bradshaw, he wasn't a good regular season quarterback, but it's a reverse. Bradshaw wasn't a good regular season quarterback, but he was a good postseason quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Whereas, and we're gonna get off subject about this one, Lamar, you got some good teams. Like I like to point out favorably, Mr. Lamar Jackson, who's a good quarterback in the regular season, but when it comes like in bowl games or in playoff games, he shits the bed.
Yep. Yep. That's definitely true. That's definitely true.
You want to talk about shit in the bed? He shits the bed.
Yep.
Big time.
Or shits on himself when he gets in the
that too.
Shits on himself, period. But yeah, that's just the way Terry Bradshaw was. I'll tell you another person that was not a great regular season quarterback, but was a good playoff quarterback, Joe Namath. A lot of people forget about Joe Namath. Joe Namath, who was infamously famous for the guarantee to win, really, even though he was the Super Bowl MVP of the 69 Super Bowl, his defense really won that game more than anything. Mm-hmm. It really wasn't winning that game. He just did enough to not lose the game. But if you watch that Super Bowl, his defense showed up because
they showed highlights of that.
Because Buddy Ryan was a defensive assistant on that team, and him and the defensive coordinator for the Jets. That was the early version of the 46 defense. And they used the early version of the 46 defense. I forgot. I mentioned it on the show, but I gotta Wikipedia it again. But they used that game plan and that blitzing package that they had, stopped the Baltimore Colts at that time, because the Baltimore Colts lost one game in the regular season, from what I understand, and they was projected in the Super Bowl. And Joe Namath, being a guy from Pennsylvania, being a northerner, he they were talking so much shit about, the media was talking so much shit about how the Colts was gonna beat their ass. It pissed Joe Namath off to where, man, I guarantee you we gonna win, in which he stuck to his promise, but he wasn't the main reason why they won. He did enough to keep them from losing, but it wasn't like, he had the best offensive game in fucking history. Even at that fucking time, he didn't. The defense showed up for that. Buddy Ryan and the other defensive, because Buddy Ryan wasn't the defensive coordinator, but he was an assistant, and he was key in planning. He was key at planning enough to where that Jets team could win that Super Bowl. So, just do your research on that team. You know what I'm saying? So, that particular blitz package that they had was the early version of the 46. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is, man.
Yep. So, true enough, it is what it is on that. Now, Jimmy, you want to talk about to the nitty-gritty of the subject, which is?
Well, we want to talk about dating older men and dating older women, and there's definitely some difference between the two. Not much, but it's some difference, or we can say, you can argue is a bigger difference between the two, however you feel about it.
Right.
But without further ado, man, start off with your opinion, and then I'll interject from time to time. Depending on what you say out there. But go ahead, man.
Okay. Well, first of all, my history. I've dated women that are older than me, and some of them were like 7 years, some were 5. I was married to one that's 8 years older than me. A buddy of mine, shout out to my boy Murph. And Murph, I don't mean to put Trey Murph, and Murph, I apologize for putting you on the spot for this one. And he said it best. Well, I said it, and he agreed. back in the day when us was growing up, people when we were growing up, becoming teenagers in 20s. Back then, older women were worth being with because the women that were at our age then, like in our 20s and stuff, were acting so stupid. We decided to be with an older woman, and it paid off in the end. Now, how the times have changed in that regard, how the scripts have flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Because most older women today are not worth being with. And people like my age, your age, Jimmy, and along with Murph and everybody else, have to start dating a younger girl. We ain't talking about like young, old enough to be our daughter and shit in high school, whatever. We talking about someone that's like late 20s, early 30s, early to mid 30s, man, that has an older woman mind. Because some of these older women I've seen, man, they, wow, they got a lot. Some of them have a lot of esteem issues, and some of them just basically, just make a long story short, some of them got a lot of baggage. Now, ladies, if you dating an older man, look, don't be dating all these fucking old players and shit that got that's they got about like 8, 9 different kids and shit.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
So
Totally.
so yeah, I'm putting that tip out there. Don't do that because you're just another victim. Or you'll be just another, well, not just another victim, you'll be just another statistic. Get somebody, if you're gonna date an older man, get someone that doesn't have any children. A multitudes of children all over the city or whatnot. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a bad look. Don't do that. But and fellas, if you dating an older woman, if she got, if she has a child, if she has, some of them gonna have children. That's about because they, some older women, some older women I date, they started motherhood pretty young. They got some that's still in school. If she got, that fall in the same category too. Don't be another stat. But that's rare that you'll date an older woman that got multitudes of children everywhere than it is an older man that has multitudes of children in your city. That's rare. But I will say this: if they have, fellas, if they have a child, ladies, this apply to rules too. If an older man, older woman has a child that's about like 11, like 10 or 11 years old or whatever, and this is my rule, and I still do this to this day. I'm gonna respect the fact that she's spending time with that he or she is spending time with their child, and they have to kayfabe a little bit. You have to play the role, being around with the dad and stuff like that. Respect their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are boundaries. That's one thing. Not. I wish somebody would say that about me. That when if a woman has a small child and they with the dad, I'm not gonna. I don't respect that. But that's bullshit. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. I said, well, just I'll talk to you tomorrow, or I'll talk to you later on. I'll talk to you tomorrow, or whatever. And that's it.
Yep.
Also, what you want to chime in on anything on that?
I say for the older, well, I'll say for both sexes. For the younger women, who's I would say 7 years or older, or 7 years younger than their significant other in terms of their dudes or whatnot. Like I say, you don't want a dude to have a gang of children rolling around. You know, that's the main thing, because when you're dealing with professional baby daddies, per se, that becomes a problem. You got to deal with those children, and then it's just not even worth it. Now, however, if a guy had a gang of kids with the same woman, but he has the financial wherewithal to fuck with you tough, that may be another conversation. You know, if you a dusty nigga that had a gang of kids by one woman, it's common sense not to fuck with that. But if because you can tell by what type of dude you're dealing with by the way he treats his children. You know, that's the clearest indicator of what type of man you're gonna have by the way he treats his children, by the relationship he has with his children. If he's always talking down about his children, that's not a dude to be dating at all. And vice versa to a woman too. Same thing with a woman. If a woman's always talking about this bitch this and that nigga ain't shit and she raised these kids, you might want to step back from this motherfucker, straight up and down. But on the dude's end, like I say, you want to deal with the guy that has few kids as possible. Now, if you run into an older guy like in his 30s or 40s with no kids, because that's the trend going on right now. It's only 3% of men having 64% of the kids out here. You know,
right?
Including guys that never been married or none of that, or gay dudes. We ain't even talk about them because they only make up like less than 5% of the population. It's a very small population, so that ain't even worth even mentioning them. But most of the dudes who have most of the kids are 3% of the population. You know what I'm saying?
And let me make a quick plug on something. My cousin, shout out to my cousin in Badger Country, Wisconsin Badger Country, John Elliott Smith. He has a book that is published.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't spell John John. It's Joneliot Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is called 7 at 25. So I want to plug this in for him, man, because I put my copy in the shopping cart as we speak right now at Amazon, and I'm gonna get it at a later time. He tells the story about his dad had him at 39, but on John's end, he messed around and had 7 children at 25. So, Jimmy, if you go on my Facebook stats and just scroll down, you'll see it. Matter of fact, I shared it to you on sports page group.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I shared it to y'all on the sports page, on the sports talk group. So, yeah, everybody, all the listeners and everything, go on Amazon and type in the search engine 7 at 25. You're gonna see my cousin's face on his book. That's my cousin John Elliott Smith. He wrote that book. But continue.
Yeah. Nevertheless, man, when you're dealing with an older dude, you want to, unless that dude is uber rich, you pretty much don't want to deal with that shit in terms of having a dude having a gang of kids like that. Even if he had one wife or one baby mama or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's best to get one that don't have kids. And it's a lot of dudes that's 30 and up that does not have children. And you can't use the excuse, well, a lot of these dudes is gay. No, they're not. It's only gay people are only 5% of the population in black society. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you still got at least 40% of dudes that that are heterosexual that don't have children. You know what I'm saying? 30 and up. It's a number. It's a very significant number out here. So you got plenty of options these days, whereas back in the day, it was very few men out there that didn't have children because, back in the day, and I stated this before, having a child before 1970 was an asset because most black people lived in rural areas or areas of the country to where they grew crop like cotton, cotton, soybean and all the other good stuff. So that's a whole nother, but we don't live in that era no more. We live in a information age era where having a child is a liability more than anything, because it takes more to take care of a child now in these days, this day and age, because you got to have food, shelter, and clothing to take care of these kids in today's society. Whereas back in the day, you lived on a farm, so with all assets was on a farm, so you had enough for the kids to eat. You know what I'm saying? You may struggled with giving them clothing, but now you got to already be established. That's first and foremost. Now, dealing with older women, because older men is pretty much self-explanatory. Dealing with older women, and I've said this once before, if she has grown kids, unless you have grown kids, it's best not to deal with. And I'm saying it's best because you might have something in common with a woman. So, if you feel like you got something in common with a woman, that's totally different. But it's best not to deal with women with grown kids. It's just best not. I'm just saying that from experience. With older women, you need to
double that. And I didn't mean cut you off. And also, fellas, if you decide to go that route, and because like I said, my ex-wife, she has 3 grown children. Okay. 3 by 3. With that last one, and fellas, I'm gonna tell you this shit, because see, this is another thing that really, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it on here. This is the one main factor that really damaged me and my ex-wife's marriage. You do not, unless that third child, when either one of them children are small.
Agreed.
Okay. You do not, I repeat, you got every right, if you married to one, and when either one of them children is small, you got every fucking right to tell that woman that you with, I'm not accepting you. I'm not accepting the fact that you got to still be friends with so and so. And he ain't did shit. And if the same nigga she slept with ain't did shit for the child, you got every right not to accept that. Ladies, that's the same boat for you too.
Yeah, I agree with that. Totally.
Fuck, you still need to be cool with somebody that ain't did shit for your damn child. They ain't been around to help you raise your child. In which it's been said that women cannot raise boys to be men. I mean, come on. That's stupid to me. And I told my ex-wife, look, I'm not accepting the fact that you still got to be cool. And then she later admitted that was her fault on that one. So my hunch on that really was confirmed. So let me tell you older women something. If you got a grown child and you still need, the henceforth of the word is grown. Okay. The only time that the father need to be around is in case like if something happened. But you don't need to still be friends with the motherfucker. What the fuck? And expect for your boyfriend or husband to be cool just because to accept that? No.
And that's why I'm against dating
Because
older.
Jimmy, I told you about something. I told you something a while back in regards what regards with mine. I was told, hey, I was told a while back, hey, don't get mad at me because I'm with, because I'm with her. Why would I? I said, hey, long as the dad, if the dad not a fuck boy, then okay. And y'all on common ground because of her, that's it. But no, ain't nobody gonna be friends. No, ladies, if you got a grown child, you don't need to be friends with your baby daddy and expect for your husband or your boyfriend to accept that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
no.
And you definitely should not be, I'm not saying, because like with kids, you gotta that's the one bond, the only bond they got together is having that kid together. So that's you know, they're going to be in contact with one another to a certain degree, but you ain't got to always be hanging out with the motherfucker all the time
Hey,
and forcing your new nigga to hang out with your baby daddy. That's fucked up right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's where the middle tier part of the subject come in. That's where your mental capacity is fucked up too.
Yeah, because it gets annoying, man. It gets annoying and shit. So, you know, nevertheless, man, when you dealing with older women and shit like that, number one, make sure there's some respect established from the jump. Because
Thank
the
you.
minute a person feels like they can disrespect you, this goes for even younger women, but with
Repeat that again.
with regardless of who you're dating, I'm talking about whether it's older or younger, you need to establish respect from the jump. But older women, you need to establish that you need to put your foot down early. Because if you don't, a motherfucker gonna put you in a child position, and you don't ever want to be in a child position when it comes to a person, an older significant other. I'm talking about, well, older women anyway, because you know, with an old guy, people gonna naturally respect the older guy. People gonna naturally look at him for leadership in general. So that's a different, but the dynamics is different. You know, a man is looked at as a leader, a woman is looked at as the follower of the relationship. So with the woman, an older woman, when you dealing with an older woman, you got to put your foot down early. You know what I'm saying? If the minute you start letting that older woman disrespect you, it's gonna go downhill from there. She's gonna be calling you all types of bitches, hoes, and nigga nuggets and all
about to get on that.
nigga nuggets.
Dude, I was about to get on that.
You can't do that.
On that, nigga. Which leads me to this: older women. When shit don't go your motherfucking way. Now I'm gonna talk to some of you older women. That's it. That falls in this category. Jimmy said, you know, establish respect at the jump. I know I do that first and foremost plenty of times. People, folks that listen to this show, you may laugh at all you want to. This is nothing funny about that. Nothing. Okay. Ain't nothing funny about the respect thing. I don't need to be made fun of about it, and people will not have the position to do so.
Mm-hmm.
When I put my foot down, when I show respect, but you want to go out the way and going to call your man a bitch or a hoe ass nigga, you ain't got no respect for you. First of all, you ain't got you know. First of all, ain't no respect for me. But the main thing is, you ain't got no motherfucking respect for your own goddamn self. None whatsoever. You ain't got none for your own motherfucking self. So, and I'm shocked, Jimmy, you ain't chiming in on that. But also, if you you know, if you got and really, if you feel that, then ladies, you feel the need, you gotta call your man a bitch, stupid ass bitch, or a hoe, and all this other motherfucking shit, cause something going on up there mentally. You got some damaged balance issues that going on up there. Get some fucking help.
Agreed.
You need to get some fucking help. Whatever happened in your past relationship, and ladies, I'm gonna tell you, and you young ladies, tell you something. This fall with us with the older men too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you do the same thing either. Cause an older man will put your ass in y'all place. Hey, me being a young man, a little bit older, I'm, you know, a little bit younger by about 5 years. I had to put several in their damn place. Hashtag Achilles lock. Now, and Jimmy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But look, if something happened in y'all life, where the point where the point that you got to call your man a bitch or a hoe and want to talk to him any old fucking kind of way. You really need to seek some motherfucking help. That's real talk. You really need to seek some help, because there's been some women in my life, young and old, that was on the cusp of getting their ass knocked the fuck out. I'm admitting it here. For fucking with me in that type of way. I don't do that.
I heard that.
There were some in my life. I didn't say there's one currently. There were some. This is past. But no, and really, you got to feel the need to do that. You don't need to be with nobody.
There you go. There you go.
You don't need you know, ladies. You got to do that. You do not need to be with anybody.
Exactly. You should.
You need to work on your issues. And another thing, and also, if you feel the need, you gotta on both ends. If you feel the need, you gotta talk about some. I don't trust none nigga, not even you, or fellas. If you come tell your girl, I don't trust not one female, not even you. Here's a clever retort to that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. If you being told that, ladies and gentlemen, here's a clever retort. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's established that two grown people, that it's established y'all together, you know, that should never come out of anybody's mouth that you considering your man or woman. That should, you know, in the early stages you can kind of sort of understand that. The courting stage of the campaign stages of the relationship, you kind of sort of understand that. But if it's established between two grown motherfuckers that y'all together, what the fuck you saying you don't trust a motherfucker for, and you claiming this motherfucker? It's established y'all together, so that's stupid as hell, in my opinion. Either way, that's some of the dumbest shit ever. You know, and if you don't trust no motherfucker and you claiming a motherfucker,
you know what I'm saying? How you gonna trust somebody? How you gonna claim somebody, and how you gonna claim somebody, but you gonna say you don't trust nan nigga?
Yeah, it's dumb as hell. It's one of the dumbest shit you could ever say in your life, man. It's some stupid ass shit to say. You know what I'm saying? To a motherfucker that's supposed to be your boo thing, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or your man, your woman. That's stupid as hell, in my personal opinion.
Or your love, or your little dove, or whatever.
Your loved one, however you call, whatever you call your boyfriend or your girl, significant other, or whatever. That's stupid as hell. But people should not be verbally abused, whether you're young, old, or whatever. You should not verbally abuse your significant other. But like I say, you know, establish the respect from the jump, because the minute older women feel like they can disrespect you, is all hell breaking loose. And me personally, when you reach a certain age, I don't think you should date older women to a certain degree anyway, to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you start, because I think when you reach 30-some years old, a lot of those women at that age be having a whole lot of baggage. It's just me personally. Now, if that's what you want, you like older women, then I'm not knocking anybody, but you need to establish very early who's the boss, because when she feels like she can talk to you any kind of way, put you in a mother-child position, that becomes a problem at that point. You know, and all hell breaks loose. And then she's older, she got kids, so she can feel, if she feels like she can talk to you like her kids, you ain't finna, it ain't finna go nowhere. And I feel, and I see why a lot of people date younger women to a certain degree, because they don't want to be put in that category, that mother-child position and shit like that. You know, like I say, people have their preference. You have a right to your preference, but your preference need to be realistic and understandable and stuff like that. And regardless of who you date, whether it's a young or old, you need to establish, as a man, you need to establish respect. The minute a motherfucker could start talking that shit, talking about, well, you can't tell me what to do. You need to get away from that motherfucker. You need to stop fucking with that woman. Period. Period. Because as a man, if she can say that to you, that means she don't respect you. I will, man, any woman at this age, I'm finna be 36 in June, the end of June. Any woman who tell me some shit like that, it's finna be end of discussion. You can't call me, text me, FaceTime me, chime me, whatever the fuck you want to call this shit. I don't have you can't FaceTime me, chime me. You can't do any of that shit because my patience is when you get older, your patience get thin. As a man, especially when you have the options of beautiful women. You know, younger women, your patience become thin. Your tolerance level is not the same at 25 as it was at 36. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, nevertheless, establish as men, especially dating older women, you have to establish respect. If you can't establish respect, you're gonna have a hard time, and you don't want to have to call the police on nobody, especially somebody's grandma or somebody's mother or anything of that nature. You don't want to have to do that. So you need to establish yourself from the jump. And women, you know, women in a lot of cases, they're viewed as more mature than men. And I agree with that to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? And I say to a certain degree because I've dated women that was up in age that was hella immature. You know what I'm saying? Hella immature. And the current lady I'm talking to now, and you know, I'm saying talking to, you know, and for identification purposes, you know, she's younger than me and she's mature than a lot of bitches I can date. No, I'm just gonna keep it 1,010. She's a lot mature, you know. So we'll see what's happened with that. But nevertheless, establish respect. You know,
and also
go ahead.
And also, if you're an older woman and you dating a young guy, don't try to make him look weak neither. Or no, not weak. Soft. Because one thing about me, man, Jimmy, one thing you know about me, nothing soft. Ain't nothing soft about me. So, and see, the reason why an older woman can feel they can talk to a man in your kind of way, they trying to make them soft. I'll let them know quick. Sometimes, yeah, if I do find myself going soft, I'm gonna refresh myself back. You know, I gotta refresh myself back to being old Craig Smith.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, hey, they feel they can do that. A woman feel they can do that because they want to see if they want to. They trying to make they think you soft. You not.
Yep.
You know, if you ladies want a woman that not ladies want a woman. If you ladies want a man that will knock you around, will knock you in your ass all the time and everything, and you love that shit, so be it.
Yeah, but don't act like you want something. Don't act like you want a man that you want a good man and you treat the good man like a pussy, for lack of a better term, or you try to treat him like a pussy, for lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying? Just if you don't want nobody, if you want a dude to knock you on your ass, get with a motherfucker that's gonna knock you on your ass. Don't get with nobody that got something going for themselves, but you want to treat them like shit. That's not even fair to the person that you trying to treat like shit. In all honesty, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is this: with a man like me and a man like Craig that has options, you know what I'm saying? You know, don't take guys like us for granted. Because me personally, you start talking that shit to me and start, disrespecting me. And Craig is the same way. You know what I'm saying? You start disrespecting us, we're gonna charge your ass to the game and ain't gonna look back twice at you. Like, okay, the deuces. You know what I'm saying? So you need to respect, you need to put some respect on your man. You know what I'm saying? If you can't do that, then let's just be friends. Me personally, if I'm messing with a chick that up in age like that, I'm just trying to smash some. You know, anything 40 and up. That's just my get down. I can't speak for your get down. I can't speak for anybody get down. But you know, 40 over 40 women, we you wanna smash, you know, hey, we can smash and I can dash. You know what I'm saying? No string attached, you know what I'm saying? So it's just that it's just the way I view that shit. Cause you know, you can't give me no more babies, you know, unless you get egg surgery or something like that. And you know, that's gonna put you at a major health risk. Other than that, shit, you know, you know, smash. I smash, I dash. You know what I'm saying? But I'm speaking for the guys that really want to get serious with these older women out here. Make sure you got person respect you. If she can't respect you and she trying to boss you around, you need to charge that to the game. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, if she respect you, deal with that, man. You know, work with that if that's what you like.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
You got another one? Cause man, we got a plethora, but bro, we got a plethora of tips that we can share to everybody.
Well, with the women, like I say, you know, that's kind of self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, you got an older guy, he's gonna be viewed as the leader of the relationship anyway. But you know what I'm saying? But you want to make sure if you're dating a guy up in age like that, you want to make sure that you know he's not using you as a, you know what I'm saying, a sex object, because that's what a lot of guys at that age do. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you ain't the sex object or you the side piece or anything. Because if you are, then you know,
More power to you.
more power to you, and you out of there. You know what I'm saying? But if you with somebody, you with the older guy, you know what I'm saying? You can't talk crazy to him because he's not gonna go for that. So that's not even a wise thing to do. But you know,
Matter of fact, don't even think about programming your brain to talk crazy into an older man if you're young women, ladies, if you're young ladies out there, don't even think about it.
Yeah, because he ain't finna tolerate that. Somebody who's old enough to be his daughter, or you know, could be his daughter or something like that, or 10 years older, he's not gonna allow for that. He's not gonna stand for that. But the main thing is, you know, make sure he's a decent, upstanding man. Make sure he can provide and take care of the household. That's simple shit. You know, and like I said, make sure you ain't the side piece, because a lot of those old players, you know, hey, they got a lot of options there. You know what I'm saying? But make sure you got some respect. You put some respect on that man's name. You know what I'm saying? So that's the
Be like Birdman, put some respect on my name.
Yeah. You can't do the same thing too. You can't talk crazy to no old school cat. It ain't happening. So you know, regardless, man, you know, just make sure you ain't in no side piece position. That's the main thing. Other than that, you pretty much in like Flynn, and make sure the dude can provide. Make sure he got some assets going and shit like that when you're dealing with guys like that. You know, those are the main things. Don't date no dusty old nigga. That's the best thing I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? You dating a dusty old nigga, that's a problem. That speaks a lot about you. So so it is what it is with that.
Oh, and wait a minute. And also, younger and older ladies, we ain't your damn daddies. Don't compare us to y'all fathers.
That shouldn't be done in general. That should not ever be done in general. Yeah, this dude might be 15 years older. The lady I'm talking to is 12 years younger than I am. So
oh shit.
She's 12
damn.
years younger than I am. So yeah,
okay.
Jimmy Smooth is, they don't call me Jimmy Smooth for nothing, man. They don't call me Jimmy J Smooth for nothing, baby. But no, she's 12 years younger than me. So, you know, but
You Jimmy J Smooth.
Yeah, Smooth out the 832, and y'all already know. Y'all already know how Smooth do. But regardless of that, um, regardless of that, that even if you have a significant, it's not a significant age gap, whether y'all 5 years apart or 10 or 12 or 20 years apart, you shouldn't even make a comparison to your significant other as your father. Granted, if you think
and it should never come out your mouth
if you know, granted,
by
if
saying something about my daddy did this. Look,
yeah, thank you.
I don't look. I don't care. Now I'm not comparing myself to my father. Now, sometimes I tell my mate, yeah, my father's cool, but he did fuck shit. That's about it. But he couldn't tell me how to treat no woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you learn how to treat a woman from moms. What to do, what not to do. The only thing that the father's supposed to do with their daughter is to show them how a man should treat them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but don't ever compare us to your, make a fucking bold statement comparing your boyfriend and your whatever to your dad, to your father. Never. That should never come out your mouth.
Yeah, because common sense if you've been raised right by your daddy, common sense gonna be like, it's gonna be, hey, I should treat this girl right or let her go. That's gonna be the consensus thing, a smart thing a dude gonna do. And that goes for any man, whether he's much older than you, not that much older than you, or significantly older than you. And like I say, granted, if you're dating a guy 20, 30 years older than you, he's going to kind of be like a father figure to a certain degree because of the significant age. To a certain degree, it's almost going to be that way. But even then, you don't want to do no comparison to your pappy. Even if the nigga is one step from Brian Dennehy's destination. Shit. I mean, that's just what it is. Shit.
Thank you.
Rest in peace to the nigga, but damn. Rest in peace to the brother, but damn, if even if you dating Grandpa O'Brien, for lack of a better term, you know, even if you dating grandpa age type dude, to a certain degree, it's common sense. He gonna school you on some things. That's going to happen, because from my understanding, his second wife, Brian Dennehy's second wife, was significantly younger. I think she was not like 10 years from his baby Jennifer, because Jennifer is going to be 60 this year. So it's going to happen to a certain degree. People don't try to do it. It's just, when you're set in your ways at a certain age, you're going to establish ground rules. When you've been through the shit that people been through that grew up in the 40s and 50s and 60s, they're going to establish themselves. It ain't even finna be no, it ain't even finna be no goddamn comparison. You don't even think about walking over that nigga. Like, bitch, I've been through the civil rights struggle. I've been through the fucking civil rights struggle. So, bitch, you ain't finna say nothing crazy to me. So that's just what it is.
Hey, I saw somebody, man. I heard somebody say that shit one time to a woman. Talking about, girl, you ain't no position to compare me to your daddy. Hell, I was in fucking Vietnam and shit like that. I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
You don't talk to me like that. I'm old enough to be your great grandfather. Fuck wrong with you? I'm like, yeah. He cut her ass loose right there, and I said, damn. But don't. And fellas, here's another thing too. And the spin side of that, fellas, don't compare your girl to your mom.
There you go.
I don't do it.
Granted,
I do not do it.
I agree. Now I'll say this. We want people to have the qualities of our mothers. We want people to have the qualities of our parents, our significant others, that have the certain qualities of our parents. But you should not make comparison to that, because that's disrespectful, regardless of age or difference. Right. That's very disrespectful, because now now you're showing this person up. You know what I'm saying? When you start telling motherfuckers, well, I shouldn't have to tell you this because my daddy, bitch, well, get with your daddy. Have an ancestral relation. That's what I would tell a motherfucker, and it would hurt their goddamn feelings. Go have an ancestral relationship with your goddamn daddy, if he's so much better of a man than I am. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just me. I'm that when you disrespect me, I disrespect you, and I do it worse. I can do it worse than you, verbally speaking. You know, verbally. You know, but nevertheless, you know, don't make the comparisons to your parents. Look for the qualities that your parents have. If you're a lady, you would, and you was raised right by a man, you would look for the qualities of your father. There's nothing wrong with looking for the good qualities of your fathers, but you know, don't make that comparison, because the moment you start making comparison to your parents, even your ex-boyfriend, I see dumbass females do this, and they're like, bitch, I see why your bunk ass single. I see why your ex whooping your ass, which I don't condone violence, but sometimes, you know, it's almost understandable to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? You know, men should not be abusive, and vice versa. Nobody should be abusive to either one, but like, you'd be like, bitch, yeah, I see why you went through the shit you went through, and you deserved it. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, if you're trying to get off on the right foot, don't make those bunk ass comparisons. You know, and this goes for both sexes. So I agree with that, brother. That's a good.
So fellas, don't compare your girl, your wife to your mama. Ladies, don't compare your boyfriend or husband to your daddy, because you got to find somewhere in your mind to spit some dumbass shit, like be classic shit. Like I hear it all the time. I ain't never had to ask my daddy for anything. We all in one way, shape, or form had to ask our parents for something, regardless. We were teenagers, or whether in hell, I know some people that's Jimmy your age sometime to ask moms and pops to help on something or advice. Hello?
Yeah. I'm listening to you, bro.
I mean, cause you know, so don't come to me about that shit talking about some. I ain't never had to ask my daddy for anything. Well, I heard one dude talking about some, man, I ain't never had to ask my mom for shit, bro. So motherfucking lie.
And a lot of times when people do that, that's usually a shaming tactic that people be trying to employ on people, and don't fall for the shaming tactics that people be trying to employ and make you bend to their will, because you know they don't have the persuasiveness to have you do what they want you to do. You know what I'm saying? If you need something from somebody, the best way of getting somebody to do what you need them to do, or do what you ask them to do, is communication.
Yeah.
Stop, you know, because when people just be, you know, saying any old kind of thing, talking about I shouldn't have to do this shit, bitch. Okay, where's the communication? If you can't communicate, you finna complicate what it is.
We're not, I've used this line before. I'm Craig Smith. I'm not Professor X.
Exactly.
I'm not Professor X of the X-Men. Shit.
Exactly. I can read certain things, but I can't read everything. If I can tell you something, if I did have Professor X powers, man, the mind wipes I can do on a lot of people. Whew. You talking about a lot of mind wiping, boy. I can make motherfuckers forget shit real quick. You know, but again, don't say no stupid shit like that. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, that's definitely extra dumb as hell. And you do shit like that, you're gonna end up single.
You know, and then you have to ask me, you wonder why you single, and tell me again why you single. Tell me again why you divorced.
Yeah, man.
Tell me again why you had to see a shrink.
Yeah. And
Lord, hey,
granted,
Lord knows there's some folks that need to see a shrink.
and granted, there's nothing wrong with being single because sometimes being single is better than being in a whack ass relationship. Let me make it clear as well. Sometimes it's better to be by your goddamn self because your ass is too
Yep.
goddamn crazy. And shout out to the women that could be by that is that they realize they need to be by themselves. They don't have to go through 2 and 3 marriages just to figure out they need to be by their goddamn self.
Mm-hmm.
For dudes,
And and here's also another. Go ahead, Jimmy. 'Cause I was about to say something.
and same for dudes. Sometimes dudes are, especially the number of guys that's around our age. Sometimes shout out to those guys who not out here making baby mamas on top of baby mamas and being the professional baby daddies out here. You know, who realize, hey, I need to get myself established before I start a family. Sometimes that's just the thing that needs to be done. So shout out to the people that can stay by themselves, that know that being by themselves is more important to be by themselves and establish themselves not only financially but as a human being, than to get in a relationship and then be like, okay, what the fuck happened? Sometimes it's better to go that route. So continue, brother.
Yeah. And another thing, funny you mentioned like past relationships and past marriages. If either one, older women and men have to blame a significant other about shit and compare and talking about some, you know, you don't need to be. Well, I'm trying to formulate what the fuck I said because man, I had it in mind. But Jimmy brought it up. If you've been in both of you, ladies and men, if you had 2, 3 to 4 failed marriages and shit like that, you know, sometimes the ex isn't the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You are. But I'm not contradicting myself because I've got on here on record, on public record, on both my shows and said my first marriage was 50-50. She didn't do a lot of things. I didn't do a lot of things. And also, if you are dating either one, vice versa, older, younger women, older, younger men, don't call yourself throwing shade at your mate about their past relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that because we can throw. Hey, Jimmy, people forget we can throw shade with the best of them. If you bring up, like our past situations, past marriages, and past this and past that. We can throw the best shade right back at you. So if you feel the need, if you may want to look at yourself in the mirror and figure out, and really understand truly why you really need to be by yourself. It's not the problem with the guys. It's the problem. The problem is with you all, especially ladies. And if you have, and I said at the top of the topic, most of the women, they have some self-esteem issues. They have shitload of baggage that they need to get rid of. Personal baggage from past baggage. They really need to clean themselves up. Seeking help is probably one. Yeah, it's good to talk. Don't mean to get religious here. Yeah, it's good to pray and talk to the Lord, but you gotta get professional help. Seriously. So don't throw shade. Don't throw shade at your past mates past relationship because they ain't, as Jimmy said, because we are most women and men are not doing y'all bidding.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do that. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
No, no.
Yeah.
Got anything you like to add, brother?
No, just like I say, man. For for the older people, also, man, like I say, man, just you know, if y'all been in so many bad relationships, sometimes it's best to stay single. In certain cases, you shouldn't have to be divorced 2 and 3 times to figure out that you're the problem or somebody else the problem. Because I feel like this: if fool you once, shame on them. Fool you twice, shame on you
Shame
at
on
that.
me.
So if you got to go through all that bullshit just to figure out that you're the problem, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, get some professional help and get it together, man. Ain't nothing wrong with being single until you get your shit together, and don't drag your next potential mate or your future mate down with you because you have a fucked up relationship. So it just is what it is, and just take care of you. So that's that with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So you got any other topics you want to add before we get off this mug?
No, bro, that is about it.
Okay. Well, once again, this your boy, live and directed, full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how we do, man. And we probably have another show tomorrow, depending on how your boy feeling about the
Yeah.
Michael Jordan special. Nevertheless, man, y'all be safe. Y'all stay y'all asses in the house if you ain't got to go nowhere, and just take care of your family and take care of yours. So live and direct in full effect with my boy out the 662, and my ass is out the 832. And y'all already know how I do. Peace out.
Peace out, and the pleasure has been all y'all.